Just been looking around today on different things, and I've noticed a lot of uh, questions on, candle flames, um, and reading candles, and how to read them and all that stuff. There's lots of videos. Oops, sorry about that. Filming on my phone, so I don't really have a stand or anything it sits on. It's just in my hand. But reading flames. So I feel um, I could comment on and help maybe explain um, a way to interpret them. And I'm not saying my way is the way, the only way, whatever. Um, it's just the way I read them. It's a way I've learned to read them, and it generally right when I do them. Now, this is not reading the wax. The wax is different. But when you do candle work, you do have to keep in mind, or you should keep in mind, that you need to read while the candle's working. Um, Read the flame by itself for a while. If you're doing like a 7-day candle where it's in a glass jar type thing, you're not going to read the wax um, the same way you would with other candles, and you really don't have to read the wax in those. Those you just read the flame, and that's mostly what I work with. Um, so I mean, even when you're doing other types of candles, if you use like tapers or something and do um, those kinds, you still read the flame. And with those, you read the flame while it's working, and then once the work is done, you read the wax. That's a better angle. The other one isn't flattering me very well, so changed it. But, the way I kind of do it is while it's working, read the flame. And then at the end of the work, you can read the wax. Now, as the wax falls down and how it spreads out or whatever, you read that as well. Yes. But there are multiple parts to reading a candle work. And you kind of have to view them separately, but um, holistically as well. As you have to look at them as pieces and then put them together and figure out the bigger picture as well. But anyways, flames. When you look at your flames, when you first start a work, this is what I do when I do um, my candles, and I usually only use 7-day candles where they're in a jar. Mostly that's sort of not really convenience, but a kind of safety thing for me because I have um, animals, and where I can have my working spaces, they animals potentially peruse those areas sometimes. And just as a precaution, I don't want wax, hot wax splashing off anywhere near where they could be. So keeping it contained in the 7-day candle was sort of beneficial to me. That's mostly why I only do 7-day candles. Excuse me. But with those, fix everything up, do your prayers or whatever you do. Cut the wick. 7-day candles. Most of the time, not all the time, most of the time you want to cut the wick down. Or else it's it can mess it up when it burns down. And that's not a magical thing. I mean, it can be, but it's also a kind of a utility type thing, because if you don't cut the wick down, it can kind of mess up the rest of the wick and it won't burn properly. But when you read your candles, damn, it went out. Hold on. When you read your candles, I do not really even look at them for a good 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes. Because you can't really just go off on the first looks, for lack of better terminology. You can't go off those first looks. At least I don't. Because, you might have, especially if you're calling on particular spirits to help with something, they're more than likely, unless they're your ancestors, or people you had an actual physical relationship with, and I don't mean sexual relationship, but that you knew in life, people you knew in life, you actually saw, shook their hand, hugged them, ate with them, or whatever. Now, if you're calling on those people, they might come quicker to you than others, just for the fact that you had a working, not necessarily a working relationship, but you had a relationship. Basically, if it's like your ancestors, like your grandparents, great-grandparents, aunts, uncles, people like that, you pretty much had a lifelong relationship with them. And I say lifelong because you've known these people since you were born. You've known them. And so you have a particular relationship with them that is totally different from relationships you might have with the Orishas, the Loas, whoever you're working with. And other spirits that you have to really work with and build a relationship with, because you didn't have one yet. So, how that works in the flames. Sorry, I'm kind of getting off track. You light it, you wait, and then you can start reading it. Now, there are, let's see how I want to break this down. I didn't prepare for this video, I'm just kind of shooting off the cuff here. Well, I'll start off with a strong flame. A strong flame, one that's, really long or really fat or really, bright, or any combination thereof. that is a sign that your work that you are doing has been received. First off, it's been received. Whoever, if you're working with, if you ask for guidance or something or help, it's been received and they're working on it, and it's, it's being dealt with. And if you pair that and you see that the wax is really steadily, steady but quicker than you normally would see it, that means they picked it up, they acknowledged it, they're working on it, and it's going to be like a steadfast working. It's going to come quickly to fruition. It's a good one. That means your work is working. And that it's, more than likely going to, I don't want to say it's going to turn out, but it's, it's working. Now, you can have short flames, or what I call like your normal size flame, like you just lit a candle and let it go in your house. I'm not talking about a working candle, but like, just a candle that you light to make your house smell good and stuff. If you have those flames, those can be working for you as well. It just, if it's a nice little steady flame, it's working, it's going, but it's not going to be as fast acting as the big flame would be. And it's, it might mean that there's something you need to be doing, or it might just mean that that particular working that you're doing will eventually come out, but it's not the right time. So you have your normal flame, you have your big tall flames, what I call your strong flames. And then you can have these little bitty flames where it's like, you've burned the wick down really, 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 small, and it's hard to light. That can be an indication that it's not being acknowledged at the time, and that it's not really gonna move forward. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to work, because I've had some things where, you light it the first day, flame looks nice healthy flame. Second day, still nice. Third day, it went down a little bit. It's like a normal flame today. It's, it's working, it's steady, it's good, And then all of a sudden, small. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it can be because you are thinking ahead. Because we do that sometimes. You do a work, you see something, you like the results, and you just think, oh yeah, it worked. Can't do that. When a work is working, it's not done. It's a process that is yet to be processed. You can never, I don't want to say definitives, but the way I see it, you cannot say a work is done until whatever it is you're trying to accomplish has accomplished itself and come out and worked. that is when the work is done. And when it's complete, it actually happened. Because you can do a work, and a lot of people I know do this. They'll do it, the candle burns all the way, it's done, it looked like it was good, but what they wanted didn't happen. That work, you did a working, yes, but it didn't come when you thought it would. That doesn't mean it's not coming and it didn't work. It just means that wasn't the right time for you to get whatever it is you're doing the work for. It's not the right time for that, or it wasn't meant to happen. That doesn't mean you go out and just keep repeatedly trying to do it until you get your outcome that you want. That will piss some things off. If you're working with particulars, you're working with particular spirits, you can piss them off by doing that shit. Don't do it. Because it's kind of like you're a little 3-year-old kid going on a long distance road trip in a car with parents, asking them, are we there yet? It can prolong what you want, from you getting what you want, in other words. So those are kind of the 3 main flame signs for candles. Now there's also other signs, like if you have a flickering flame, that definitely means a spirit is working there. Depends on what kind of work you're doing. If you're using a candle and you're doing like spirit work, or if you do any kind of necromancy kind of things, working with the dead, when you have flickering flames, especially if they're large and they're flickering flames, that means you do have spirits present. And I say spirits plurally because it's more than likely not just one when you're doing that kind of work. Which is why you always cleanse yourself before doing that kind of work. Because you can be overrun. Trust me. What else? So those flickering or dancing flames, spirits are present, or a spirit is present, or the spirits that you called upon to help with your working and guide your working are there, and they're helping you with that. Also, in the whole realm of dancing flames, you can, and I've seen it in some of the things I've done, you have these flames that kind of flicker in a circular pattern. And that is something you really need to pay attention to, because depending on what you're doing, if you're asking for something and that flame is dancing around counterclockwise, then they're working, that whatever you're asking for, it's working, it's coming towards you. If your flame is flickering and dancing clockwise, it's not. Because when you go clockwise with something, you're sending something out. Counterclockwise, you're drawing in. So you have to read those flames if they do that kind of stuff as like that. Now, if it's going clockwise, doesn't mean you're not going to get what you want. Just means that whatever they're doing in that work, they're having to send something out in order for you to get something to come in. And that's where, the whole, sacrifice um, comes in. Because if you see that you did a candle working for shit, let's say money or prosperity, something like that, come to you and you just go over, you look at your, you're reading your flame and it's going clockwise. Doesn't mean you're not going to get money, but it could mean that there's something you need to do, something of yourself that you need to give up in order to get that money. You know, that could be the spirit working on it, telling you, you know, hey, you might, you know, take some of that shit you got sitting around that you don't do no more, that's got, you know, a little worth to it, take it to the pawn shop, there your money. You know, that's what that could mean. You know, and still, even if it's, you know, counterclockwise, and it's, you know, you see, oh yeah, it's coming to me, you still might have to give something up. So you have to really look at them, read them, and you have to go into your own intuitive brain when doing this shit. You can't just look at it and be all like, oh, well, that's what it looks like, that must be what it is. You have to read between the lines too. And that's why when I have people, friends, whoever, when they find out what I do and ask me, oh, can I, you know, first I tell them, you know, you gotta be 100% invested in it. And you have to take it seriously. And by taking it seriously, I don't mean like, oh yeah, I'm down for this shit. Like you know, I want to do it. No. You have to look in yourself. You have to get right with your ancestors. You have to have relationships in place in order for you to have any kind of insight into whatever it is you're trying to do. If you, you know, it's like if you just go out and, you know, you've never, like, you, for some reason, want a gun. You never shot a gun before. You don't know what the hell to do with a gun. Excuse me. You get one, you go to the gun range. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You've never held a gun before. You get a freaking Desert Eagle. That shit can hurt you. Because you don't know what you're messing with. Now, Desert Eagle, I don't know if any of y'all know what that, you know, if you don't know what that is, it's a big fucking gun. Big fucking gun. It's a powerful gun, too. And if you don't know how to handle your weapons, that one will hurt you on a recoil. Now, I've never personally shot a Desert Eagle, but, you know, my family is big into hunting and all that stuff, so I grew up around these kind of things, and, you know, I've known people who have, and it's a powerful fucking gun. Magic is a powerful fucking thing. You know, we are powerful things, and sometimes we don't know what the fuck we're doing. And we can fuck ourselves up or misinterpret things, which later on down the road can screw us over. So you always have to read your flames, but don't take them off on a, you know, on face value. You have to kind of look at them, think about them, and revisit the working. So you kind of keep, you know, looking at it and making sure, you know, if it's staying the same, if it's changing, you know, because you have to look at it like I said, you have to look at the parts. You have to figure out the parts. Then you have to put it all together. And then you got to look at your big picture. And you have to read between the lines when you do readings. Otherwise, you can get part of the message, none of the message, the wrong message. Anything can happen. So, oh shit, I'm at like 26 minutes. I did not mean for it to be that long, but I did kind of ramble. So yeah, that's my little tidbit today, because I've seen a lot of people asking about, can you look at this flame? What do y'all think? How, and that's cool. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you just don't know. And it's not wrong to go and look and ask people for their interpretation of it, because when you get other people's opinions, you kind of can piece together your own, and you can see, okay, well, that looks like that, that looks like that, and then once you start getting these, and they're in your brain, and then that kind of kick starts your own intuitive brain, and you kind of can start piecing things together yourself. So that's it. Comment if you'd like. Subscribe if you want to. I'll be doing more videos. Don't really have any particular topics right now. I'm thinking about them. I'm actually getting... Damn, it went out again. I'm actually getting a nice little book haul in today. Whenever I gotta go look at my mail. I'll probably do a video on those too. But yeah. So just like, comment, subscribe if you want. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm surprised if any of y'all actually kept watching this thing for almost a half hour. So yeah. I will be signing back in. Making another video, whatever it's called. I don't really know what the hell to call it. But yeah. Just thank you guys for watching if you've been watching.